All right, this is Mike Devoe, and here's my audience: my mother, my father, and my bud Tanner. Okay, there you go. I think that's right. There we go. Okay. Hello, my name is Mike. I'll be giving my demonstration speech. So when I was a kid, I went to scouting camp for about a week. What I saw there was some really cool constructions that some of the older scouts had done, where they had built stuff like a flagpole, a bridge, and a tower all by themselves with simple things like some logs and some rope. After they assured us that those were safe to go about climbing on, we did, and we had a great time. After that, they actually taught us the skills that we needed, and what they were was lashing techniques. Um, Lashing is knots for structural purposes. There's a quick definition about that. Um, Normal knots, they're used just to hold the rope together and other things, but these are used specifically for holding structural components together. My experience with these will be from the Scouts, obviously, and the fact that I am an avid outdoorsman and like to experiment with things like this. The points today will be beginning with anchor knots. So these are the knots that will hold them together initially. They will be called the timber and the clove hitch. And then from then we'll move to the actual lashing techniques, which will be square and diagonal lash. So let's start with anchor knots. The first anchor knot is called a timber hitch. What this timber hitch does is it has a very high degree of resistance when tied, meaning we can actually drag logs with it. So what we're going to start with is this little loop right here. I'm going to start on this stick, and we're just going to wrap it around, taking the long end, sticking it back through this loop, giving it a tight pull. And as you can see, normally a loop would just fall right through. This has that resistance you're looking for that'll hold it. The second anchor knot is called the clove hitch. What you do with that is all you got to do is you tie an X, and then what you do after you get through that X is you stick it under, and then you just pull and clean that up a little bit, and right there is your clove hitch. And this one's really good for just normal lashing techniques, as you can pull from either end and it tightens itself. So there's that. Now that we have both anchors down, we will move on to our actual lashing. Our first one is the easiest, in my opinion. It's called the square lashing. What you do is you start with a clove hitch up here at the top, and what you do is you just alternate going under and then over, under and over, until you get an even amount, at least 3 on each limb, and then each time checking to make sure it's tight. The the tighter it is, the stronger it is, because right now mine was kind of half baked, so it's a little loose. But then you finish up with a clove hitch again, and then you just tighten, and that's honestly pretty sturdy for my amount of work. Those are good for 45 to 90 degree angles, so corners, tops, crossbars, sort of that. The other knot or lashing we'll be covering the other 45 degrees. This is called a diagonal lashing. What we'll start with actually is a timber hitch across, because we have to go across both. We'll start by wrapping, timber hitch is going this way. We'll start by wrapping this direction, taking 3 around. And once we get back to here, we'll come under here and do the other half of this X, going this way 3 times. Once we get back to the starting position, then you wrap under all 3 again until you get to the sidebar here, where we tie a clove hitch, and all the while tightening each lash. So right here, you just pull that tight, and that's how you get the other 45 degrees. All right. So that about covers the 4 basics. There I am. On my opinion, it's a good skill to have. If you're ever out and in need of quick covering, something that's still pretty sturdy but still pretty quick, this is a good thing to start with. Just remember, you got to start off with really good anchors. Got to make sure those are tight. Then you start with your beginning lashes and just keep going, checking to make sure they're pulled taut every time. Make sure you get a good finishing anchor and tighten. Honestly, with these four simple techniques, you can build a plethora of great constructions with sticks and rope. Thank you.